That's right. It's pedalboard time, people.
Just play the damn thing.
So, the fine folks at Van Gogh, who I have done a few demos for, sent me their latest pedal board. I think I've actually even done a couple of pedal boards for that company, and have really I've liked just about everything that they've sent me. I can't think of anything that they've sent me that I didn't like and put pretty high marks on, especially for the price. I think they make pretty good quality products, especially for the price point. Well, they came out with a new version, or a larger size, I think actually is what this is supposed to be, of one of their pedal boards. So they sent it along to me and asked me to take it out of the box and show you guys. So that's what we're going to do. Not at all what I was expecting. This is their PDXL, which I thought was a much bigger size. Seems like this is a smaller size of the one that I did before. Interesting. Okay. Well, you know what? Before I go that far, I'm going to look up into my old videos and see exactly which one it is that I've done. Because apparently I don't know. Uno momento, por favor. Okay, so I did the SDM. I did the SDM pedal board, which I guess is the M, I guess is medium sized. About probably a little over a year ago. Okay, so that was what apparently I did one called the SDM back in, like I said, about a year ago. Seemed like they'd sent me another one as well. I don't remember. I think that was the more recent one. I think that was the powered one. And they sent me another one before that. I tend to move these things along pretty quickly once the videos are completed, so I don't have them to share with you anymore, but I do still have a pretty solid memory about what went on. Ah, yes. This is a smaller one, I remember now. Because the other one, this one has, the other one had a gig bag very, very similar to this, but this one is obviously smaller. But I remember that was one of the best parts about this pedal board is it's a really, really nice gig bag. I'm not sure what that would be for. This little back shoulder strap thing here, I guess, unless maybe you would try to strap it down to something. Strap it down to the back of a guitar gig bag or something like that. Probably be what that's for. Carry everything in one trip sort of deal. We'll see what we got. 2 strips of Velcro. If you're a Velcro person, I personally am not. I happen to prefer zip ties on my pedal boards these days. I just find it to be cleaner and easier to work with. I'm not a fan of Velcro on the pedal board. Just not my jam. Too messy and way too much of a pain in the arse to remove and replace and all that kind of stuff. So it's powered because here's half of the power supply. Well, here's all of the power supply. And then we also have the power cables. There is the manual. PDXL manual. I'm sure you can also find all of that info online should you need to. Styrofoam, which you would likely remove immediately because it's going to be replaced with pedals. And I remember this from last time as well. It does have the straps here on the inside, so you can actually strap the pedal board down into place on the inside of the bag for when you are ready to transport it. No pockets or anything on the outside, but like I said, it does have this big giant strap here on the back. I'm pretty sure what that's for is to, so that you could slide it down on the top of a guitar gig bag, electric guitar gig bag. And then of course there's a great big long pocket here that almost the full length of the case right there on the inside. That'd be, there's another spot to store spare, power cables and whatever else you might need a pocket in the gig bag case for. And, oh, well, one other thing. They also sent me some patch cables to go with it. These do not come with the pedal board, by the way. This is not, you know, I need to be very clear. This does not come with the pedal board. I don't think they sell it as a bundle or anything on Amazon, but I was told to be very, very clear that this does not come as included with the pedal board. But I think there is a discount code that we'll put down in the description for you. These are basically, I think it's just a three pack of 1/4-inch cables. Honestly, I don't even know how long. Probably 6 inch or a foot. Nope, 1.6 feet. So roughly 1.5 feet. Actually, look like pretty decent cables. Little pancake end cables. You get 3 of these. That's what's in here. Three of those. Yeah. And there's the third one. Okay, so, you know, here's a 3-pack of these 1.5 foot cables. Well, they got labels 50 centimeter, but 1.5 foot cables, call them. You know, 3-pack of those with pancake ends for, what's it, $21.99 is what they got them, what they're selling for on Amazon. You know, for 3 cables, not bad. You could do a lot worse. Now, on to the pedal board itself. Yeah, here we go. So it's got the built-in feet that you just flip those out, just like that. You know, to prop up the pedal board. This looks like it's pretty much designed for 1 row of pedals. You might be able to fit 2 rows of pedals on here, like if you want to go with like miniature-sized pedals. You know, well, let's find out. Okay, so, maybe not quite 2 rows, but maybe I guess you could if you hung it off of there like that. You might be able to do that. If you were going with all miniature-sized pedals or even mostly miniature-sized pedals, you could probably use this to hold quite a few pedals. It does feel strong and robust. I mean, that's, you know, I don't know what material that is. Probably aluminum, I'm assuming. Solid aluminum, that is. The surface, I think this is a roughly 21 inches wide by about 16.5 inches deep. So it is definitely smaller than the last one of these pedals that I featured on my channel. But like I said, if you want to go with the miniature size pedals, if you did it there like so on this pedal board, you know, you might be able to get 2 rows of miniature size pedals. If you want to go with more your standard size stomp box like that, which I think is probably more the idea that they're going for, you know, you set it up like this, still have a nice clean look. Probably hold about five, looks like about 5 or 6 pedals if you go that route. So if you're trying to keep it, you know, going for the minimalist approach, that might not be a bad way to go. It is powered. We'll get to that here in a second. First, I want to. There's 2 sets of inputs and outputs on here. There's an input 1, and output 1 is actually over here on this side. And then input 2 is right there, and then output 2 is there on the inside. That's what the inside there looks like. Hopefully you can see that fairly well. You know, basically you plug your guitar cable into the input, and then the output, your first output, makes sense why it's over here on this side now. Again, if you can see that, that will go to your first pedal. And then again, the opposite over here. Input there, and then your output there. A handy little feature, especially on something like this. Inputs and outputs, let's see what we got here. I think we have most of these going to be 9-volt, 500 milliamp, and they do claim that these are all isolated inputs. They're isolated power inputs. So this is not just a glorified daisy chain inside of a metal casing like a lot of these things seem to be. These are supposed to be legitimately isolated power. And here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 9-volt, 500 milliamp isolated power outputs. One 12-volt, 500 milliamp, and one 18-volt, 500 milliamp. So all of them 500 milliamps. If you got anything higher than that, this is, you know, you're going to need to figure out a way to power it externally. But that will power. There's not a whole lot out there other than like big giant processors and stuff that are going to require more than 500 milliamps. So this will power just about anything that you need. And if it's, if you got a couple of pedals that are well under 500 milliamps, especially if we're talking 12 or the 18 volt variety, you can daisy chain those off of the same pedal output. And also one final feature, I think this knob right here, when you power this thing up, apparently all of the LEDs will light up and dance along with whatever music that you're playing, which is kind of neat. Certainly a cool stage effect. And this little knob right here on the inside, I believe, controls that. So, last test. I looked it up, and this is I was correct. This is actually anodized aluminum is what this thing is made out of. So it should be good and solid. The last couple of these that I tested, however, the finish on them was really, really soft, and they scratched really easily. So it's just a standard guitar pick that I use. Not mounting any pedals or anything like that onto it. But it looks like they appear to have fixed that, which is obviously a good thing. So, way to go, Van Gogh. Good job. Okay, those are probably, you peel the plastic off of them, they're just rubber feet. So if you're not going to use the foot, the feet extenders that are built into it, if you rather leave it flat, you can, it has some rubber pads on the bottom to keep it from sliding around to whatever surface that you have it on. So, so you're not forced to use it on those, and even if you did want to use it on those, again, it has the rubber feet there on the bottom. So again, to stabilize it on whatever surface that you're setting it on. So, also very well thought out. Good thinking. Yeah, good job. Great job, Van Gogh. I'm impressed. They had this thing listed for $169, so it is a little bit more expensive than I had thought that it was going to be, especially compared to some of their other pedal boards. Again, isolated power supply. Again, solid anodized aluminum construction. Very well made. Isolated power supply. It's listed on Amazon for $169.99. However, they are currently offering a coupon on it for $25.50 off. So that turns this thing into $144.49. For a good solid pedal board, not bad. For something like this, and again, let's not forget, it comes, it's powered, so it comes with the power supply. You don't need to buy an external power supply. That's more real estate on the board for pedals, the fun stuff. Comes with its own gig bag, a very, very nice quality gig bag, by the way. There's a lot going for it. There's a lot going for this. So, not bad. For like I said, $145. I imagine if you're patient, you can you might find a coupon or something on Amazon that one day it'll be better than that. So, but the point is, like a lot of things on Amazon, just because it's listed, it's priced at $169.99. You don't have to pay that. So that combined with $22 worth of cables, you got a solid start to your brand new pedal rig. So comment down below. I will post links to this guy down below. Also, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, you can do so down below. And I will see you all in the next video. Adios.